What's up everybody, Rich the Travel Guide here, and let me tell you, I am so pumped for this video. We're about to dive headfirst into the heart and soul of America, a city that pulsates with energy, history, and a whole lot of soul. New Orleans, baby. New Orleans is unlike any other place I've ever been, and trust me, I've been around. This city will grab you by the heart, pull you onto the dance floor, and leave you craving more. And for all you first-timers out there, you're in for one unforgettable ride. We're packing in as much NOLA magic as we can into this video, covering the must-do activities you absolutely cannot miss when you touch down in this incredible city. From the history, to the food, the music, the people, we're going deep, my friends. So buckle up, grab a beignet and a cafe au lait because things are about to get crazy. Let's do this. Before we jump into the action, let's rewind the clock. New Orleans has a past, a present, and a future that are so intertwined, you can practically feel the energy buzzing in the air. This city is a gumbo, and I mean that in the best way possible. Founded in 1718 by the French, ruled by the Spanish, and eventually becoming part of the United States, New Orleans has always been a melting pot of different cultures, and let me tell you, that mix is what gives this city its unique flavor. It's raw, it's real, and it's something you gotta experience firsthand to truly understand. We're talking French architecture, Spanish courtyards, African rhythms, and Caribbean vibes all mixed into one vibrant tapestry. It's a city built on layers of history, and you can feel that weight, that legacy, in every cobblestone and every note of jazz that fills the air. It's this collision of influences that birthed the soul of New Orleans. It's in the food, the music, the people, it's everywhere, and it's what makes this place so special. I'm talking about a city that's seen it all. From its days as a bustling port city, a major player in the cotton trade, to facing some of America's darkest chapters head-on. This city knows struggle, it knows resilience, and it knows how to celebrate life like nowhere else. You walk down these streets and you're walking in the footsteps of pirates and poets, musicians and revolutionaries. It's a city that's been shaped by its past, but never defined by it. And speaking of jazz, let's talk about the soundtrack of New Orleans. This is where jazz was born, people. This city gave birth to a musical genre that would go on to influence the world. It's the kind of music that gets into your soul, makes you want to move, makes you want to feel every single beat. From Louis Armstrong to Trombone Shorty, this city has produced some of the greatest musicians the world has ever known. And the beauty of it is, that music is still alive, it's still evolving, and it's still echoing through the streets of New Orleans today. Now, we can't talk about New Orleans without talking about Hurricane Katrina. This city knows hardship, it knows heartbreak, but it also knows how to rise above it all. I was down here in the aftermath of Katrina, and I've never seen anything like it. The spirit of the people here, their resilience, their determination to rebuild, it's truly remarkable. They didn't just rebuild their city, they rebuilt it with even more heart, even more soul than before. And that's what I love about this place. It's a city that refuses to be kept down. It's a city that embraces its past, celebrates its present, and looks towards the future with a sense of hope and optimism that's contagious. So when you come to New Orleans, remember, you're not just visiting a city, you're stepping into a story that's still being written, a story that you're now a part of. Alright, let's hit the streets. First stop, the French Quarter. This is where it all began, the heart and soul of historic New Orleans. Walking these streets is like stepping back in time, except with way more beads and cocktails. We're talking cobblestone streets, wrought iron balconies overflowing with flowers, gas lamps casting a warm glow on the colorful buildings. It's like walking into a movie set, but it's real, and it's buzzing with life. You got street performers on every corner, from jazz musicians to magicians to artists selling their work. The air is thick with the smell of beignets, coffee, and something you can't quite put your finger on, but it smells like adventure. And the energy, man, the energy in the French Quarter is electric. It's a mix of history, culture, and pure, unadulterated fun. You can feel it in the air, you can feel it in the ground. It's impossible not to get swept up in it all. Now you can't come to the French Quarter without experiencing the legendary Bourbon Street. This is where the party's at, 24/7, 365. It's loud, it's crazy, it's everything you've heard about and more. But don't think the French Quarter is all about beads and booze. Just a few blocks over, you've got Royal Street, a treasure trove of antique shops, art galleries, and some of the best people watching in the city. You can find anything on Royal Street, from vintage jewelry to voodoo paraphernalia to paintings by local artists. And the architecture, man, the architecture is insane. These buildings have seen it all, and they've got the stories to prove it. Take a stroll down Royal Street, grab a coffee, pop into some of the shops, and just soak it all in. You might even find a one-of-a-kind souvenir to take home with you. And right in the heart of the French Quarter, you've got Jackson Square. This is where artists set up their easels, musicians play their hearts out, and fortune tellers predict your future. It's a melting pot of creativity and energy, and it's a must-see for any visitor. Take a walk along the Mississippi River, watch the steamboats go by, and imagine what life was like back in the day. It's a pretty humbling experience, you know? This place has seen it all. And then there's the St. Louis Cathedral, right there in the square, standing tall and proud. It's the oldest cathedral in North America, and it's a sight to behold. Whether you're religious or not, you can't deny the power and the beauty of this building. So, there you have it, the French Quarter. A whirlwind of history, culture, and good times. It's a place where you can let loose, be yourself, and create some memories that will last a lifetime. Alright, let's talk food, because New Orleans is a culinary knockout punch. It's not just about eating here, it's about experiencing the soul of the city, one delicious bite at a time. And trust me, there are some serious contenders vying for your attention. But we're gonna start with the champ, the heavyweight, the dish that defines New Orleans gumbo. Even the word sounds warm and comforting, like a big culinary hug. It's a stew, but so much more than that. It's a melting pot of flavors, a reflection of the city's rich history and diverse cultures. You've got your French roux, your African okra, your Native American spices, all simmering together in perfect harmony. There's a million different ways to make gumbo, each family with their own secret recipe passed down through generations. Seafood gumbo, chicken and sausage gumbo, even vegetarian gumbo. There's a gumbo out there for everyone. But no matter what kind of gumbo you get, one thing's for sure, it's gonna be very delicious. So do yourself a favor, find yourself a local joint, and order a big old bowl of gumbo. Trust me, your taste buds will thank you. Next up, we're hitting the streets for a New Orleans classic, the po' boy. This ain't your average sandwich, folks. This is a culinary institution, a symphony of flavors stuffed into a crusty French bread. We're talking fried oysters, juicy roast beef dripping with gravy, spicy shrimp, even alligator if you're feeling adventurous. And don't even get me started on the bread. Gotta be that perfect balance of crispy on the outside, soft and fluffy on the inside. Now, no trip to New Orleans would be complete without a stop at Café du Monde for a taste of their legendary beignets. Imagine this, hot, pillowy squares of fried dough generously dusted with powdered sugar, practically melting in your mouth. It's pure sugar rush bliss, the kind of treat that makes you want to lick the plate clean and then order another round. Pro tip, grab yourself a café au lait on the side, the perfect companion to cut through the sweetness. Now look, I know we're just scratching the surface here. New Orleans cuisine is a vast and delicious landscape with hidden gems tucked away on every corner. So, beyond the gumbo and the po' boys, make sure you explore. Get lost in the French market, sample some jambalaya, try a muffaletta, maybe even brave a bowl of crawfish etouffee. The point is, be adventurous, talk to the locals, ask for recommendations, and don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone. And for the love of all that is holy, save room for dessert. We're talking bread pudding, pecan pie, bananas, Foster flambéed right at your table. I'm serious, the dessert game here is strong. Bottom line, come to New Orleans hungry, my friends, because this city will feed your soul as much as it feeds your stomach. Alright, let's talk about music, because New Orleans is the beating heart of jazz. Born in the early 20th century, this city birthed a genre that's influenced music globally. The soulful sounds of the trumpet, the smooth saxophone riffs, the rhythmic pulse of the upright bass, all echoing through the streets. It's impossible to come here and not feel the rhythm of the city seep into your soul. Trust me, even if you don't think you're a jazz person, New Orleans will change your mind. Now, if you're looking for the heart of the live music scene, look no further than Frenchmen Street. This is where it's at, people. This vibrant stretch is jam-packed with music clubs, each one pulsing with its own unique energy. You've got everything from traditional jazz to blues, funk, R&B, you name it. This isn't just background music though. This is the kind of music that grabs you by the soul and makes you want to move. You can literally hop from club to club, soaking up the different vibes and discovering new artists. One minute you're snapping your fingers to a smooth jazz trio, the next you're caught in a whirlwind of brass and drums as a full-blown funk band takes the stage. And the best part is, you never know who you might see. Frenchmen Street is a breeding ground for talent, with both local legends and up-and-coming artists sharing the same stage. This is where you come to experience the true soul of New Orleans music. It's raw, it's electric, and it's an absolute must-do for any first-time visitor. The music scene here isn't confined to the clubs. Step out onto the streets and you'll find another layer of this city's musical tapestry. Street performers are everywhere, showcasing their skills with contagious energy. You might find a brass band in Jackson Square, a lone saxophonist on a street corner, or bucket drummers creating a symphony of rhythm. It's this spontaneous eruption of music that makes New Orleans special. You never know what you'll encounter. The city itself is a stage and everyone's invited, so keep your ears open and your eyes peeled. This is New Orleans, a city that lives and breathes music. From legendary clubs to impromptu street performances, music here is a way of life. Come experience it for yourself. Get lost in the rhythm, embrace the energy, and let the music move you. Alright, let's talk about the energy of New Orleans because this city knows how to throw a party. And I'm not just talking about your average weekend bash, I'm talking about full-blown, take-over-the-city festivals that happen year-round. It's like the good times never stop rolling here, and trust me, you're going to want to be a part of it. Whether it's the vibrant costumes and parades of Mardi Gras, the soulful sounds of the French Quarter Festival, or the culinary delights of New Orleans wine and food experience, there's always something epic happening. And the best part? These festivals aren't just about entertainment, they're about celebrating the city's rich culture and heritage. It's a chance for locals and visitors alike to come together, let loose, and experience the true spirit of New Orleans. You'll be swept up in the energy, the music, the food, and the overall feeling of celebration that permeates the air. Now we can't talk about festivals in New Orleans without mentioning the granddaddy of them all, Mardi Gras. This isn't just a festival, it's an experience, a whirlwind of color, music, and pure, unadulterated fun. For weeks leading up to Fat Tuesday, the city transforms into a giant party, with parades, costumes, and beads galore. Imagine this. You're caught in a sea of purple, green, and gold, the air thick with the smell of king cake and the sounds of brass bands. Strangers are high-fiving, beads are flying through the air, and everyone's caught up in the contagious energy of the celebration. It's like stepping into another world, a world where the rules are thrown out the window and the only goal is to let loose and have a good time. Trust me, Mardi Gras is something you have to experience at least once in your life. It's a celebration of life, a chance to embrace the unexpected, and a memory that will stay with you long after the last beat has been thrown. But hey, even if you can't make it for Mardi Gras, there's still a ton to experience throughout the year. New Orleans is a city that thrives on celebration, and there's always a reason to party. Whether it's the French Quarter Festival with its mix of music, food, and art, or the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival showcasing legendary musicians and local talent, there's something for everyone. And don't even get me started on the food festivals. From the New Orleans wine and food experience to the Oak Street Po' Boy Festival, you'll have the chance to indulge in all the culinary delights this city has to offer. So, whatever your passion, whether it's music, food, art, or just soaking up the vibrant atmosphere, New Orleans has a festival for you. Check out the calendar of events, plan your trip, and get ready to experience the city's infectious energy firsthand. So, there you have it. Your guide to conquering New Orleans like a pro. From the historic streets of the French Quarter to the soulful sounds of live jazz, the culinary delights, and the non-stop festival vibes, this city will leave you wanting more. Remember, This is just a taste of what New Orleans has to offer. Get out there, explore, discover your own hidden gems, and create your own unforgettable NOLA story. And hey, if you found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more travel tips and adventures. Until next time, keep exploring, keep dreaming, and keep living life to the fullest. Peace out.